I'm going to show you today how to do the perfect ombre using Luxio gel polish. The two colors that I'm going to use are Daring and Wink. And what we're going to do is put a couple little drops on my palette here. So I'm just putting a little drop of the Daring. And another drop of it. Then I'm going to put a drop of Wink, actually two. On my next drop, I'm going to put right next to the other one, to Daring. And I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to mix these two colors together. So once we get those all blended nice and evenly, try not to get any little air bubbles in it, because I do find the air bubbles make it more difficult to work with. So what I've used is a number 2 Akzentz brush, and I actually just pushed it down on my palette just to make the bristles fan out. And I'm going to use that to blend my colors together. So on my tip, we're going to put a little bit of our Daring. You want to put enough color so that when you're blending the colors, you don't get little air bubbles. So then in between the two colors, we're going to put our mixed color in. And then I'm going to finish off the tip with my Wink. So we're going to start blending our colors. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to do tiny little circular motion with the brush, and I'm just going to start at this line, and we just gently blend the colors. So we're just going over that, and we're just making like tiny little circular movement. And I like to just go back and forth, nice and gentle. And then I wipe my brush, because if I don't wipe my brush, I'm going to get some color down, some of the purple down into this line, and I do not want to do that. So after each row, wipe the color off your brush. And so we just keep going all the way down the tip, blending as we go. And we're going to, at the end, we're going to have several passes of our color. So essentially what you're doing is you're pulling the color down as you go, but you're creating the perfect ombre. You also have to watch out for color pooling here. We don't like that. So I'm going to start again at the top, and I'm just going to start blending these colors down. And as you go, you can see the little line of color as you're pulling the colors down and blending them, so you can see where you've left off. And so you just start back where you left off and keep working your way down the nail. If you find you need to pick a little bit more up of one of the colors, that's what those little drops are. And I like to pick them up with this brush here. So sometimes I'll just dip my brush in that and I'll pick up a little bit more. You also want to make sure that you don't get pooling of your color down here. So we're just going to remove a little bit of that. I've got an air bubble there, we're just going to work that out. So can you see it's starting to blend really nice? I'm going to make one more pass here. I also like to turn my tip as I'm working on it, just so that I can see from all the different angles and make sure that I've got a really nice blend. Different colors blend better. I find that Daring and Wink blend beautifully. If you're doing black and white, it takes a really long time to get that perfect, beautiful blend. But if you have a client that's willing to pay the price, then it's a good little money maker in your salon. You could charge extra for it. I'm not sure what I would do for a full set of this because it does take quite a while to do. I can't imagine doing this on all the nails. So as you can see, it looks blended pretty good. I still have a tiny bit of a line through here. So I'm going to pick up a little more of my blended color, not too much. And we're just going to pull that down a little bit through here some more. The lighter the touch, the better the blend. You don't want to push too hard. You want to go nice and gentle. You also want to make sure that your palette is dust free, because we don't want to get little dust particles in our gel. So once we're happy with how that looks, we're going to cure it. So I'm going to cure that in my LED light for 30 seconds. And I'm just going to clean off my palette here while that cures. And I'm going to do everything a second time. So when you do a second coat, it just gives it more of a finished look. Just making sure I don't have any gel left. If I have purple in my brush, then it's going to bleed into my design. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. We're going to put a little bit of our Daring. We're going to take some of our custom mix, so the two colors, Daring and Wink, that were mixed together. And we're just going to make a nice little, put some of that on there. And then we're going to, so we're finishing off with our Wink. Get it as close as you can to that line of color, but you don't want to get any product on your brush. So we're going to start the process all over again. We're going to do nice little circular lines or movements. Just need to fan out my brush a little more here. Perfect. And we just keep going. You make several passes all along the nail as you go. And you can see the line. Make sure you're going all the way to the sides. But when you're doing this on a client, you want to be really careful that it doesn't bleed into their cuticle or the free edge, because then you're going to have a big pool of gel. And nobody wants that. So I'm going to go back at the top and I'm going to start again. Just pulling my color down, blending as we go. And don't hurry, just take your time. Getting a few little air bubbles there, so I just pop them as I go. Can you see we're starting to get a beautiful blend? So right here, I'm not loving how this one here is working out. I'm just going to pick up a little more of my custom color. And we're just going to blend that a little bit. I've got a little line right in through here, so I'm going to try and blend and work that away. You want to look at your tip from all these different angles to make sure that everything is blended perfectly. There, can you all see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to hold it up close enough that you can see. Got a little air bubble right there. Okay, and once you're happy with the way that that looks, I find I tend to play with this all day long. I could just keep going and going and going and going. But sometimes you have clients who will sit and let you take as long as you want to get the nail absolutely perfect. And then you have those that won't take the time. And they just want in and out. Okay. So once you're happy with how it looks, we're just going to cure that again. And then we're ready to seal it with our shine on. And I find that the shine on sometimes will cover up any little imperfections that you may have when you're blending. Because I always find after I've cured it, I'll look at the nail again and I'll see, oh, I really could have blended it a little bit more here or there. Just all depends. So there's my tip. And we're just going to cover it up with our shine on. You can do a design over this base, or you can just leave it like that. Personally, I like to leave the ombre just the way it is, because I love the look of two colors blended together like that. It's my absolute favorite. So there you have it. That is how you do an ombre design using Luxio gel polish. Thanks for watching.